So Microsoft started off their E3 conference showing off the Xbox One S, and it turns out that almost everything that we talked about in previous videos was pretty much dead on as far as the features go. But there were a few new surprises in there, so I'm just going to cover everything that we know about the system. The console is 40% smaller than the original Xbox, and that includes the power supply, which is now integrated inside the box. The front panel has been redesigned, now features a USB port on the front. The biggest item actually missing, though, is a dedicated port for Kinect, which I think is kind of further proof that the Kinect is becoming more irrelevant to Microsoft. Now, you can still use the Kinect with this system, but you're going to need a USB adapter in order to do so. Now, Microsoft says that if you already own a Kinect, if you're one of those fans who are going to be upgrading your Xbox, they're going to be hooking you up with an adapter for free. Inside the box, things get a little bit more interesting. There's now an IR blaster on the front, which will allow you to control multiple devices like sound systems. Basically puts more devices from your home entertainment inside your Xbox. It also features a 4K ultra high definition Blu-ray player, which actually is going to make it the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player on the market as far as everything that I could find. As far as the research goes, multiple sites were reporting this. They said Samsung and Philips have a player, and that's around $400. So this is coming out at $300, going to make it by far the cheapest so far. And so this may even appeal to 4K TV owners who aren't even gamers. It also features HDR capability, which games like Gears of War have stated that they're going to take advantage of. This is like one of the next big things in television. It makes the pictures and color just look a whole lot better. The whites are whiter, the blacks are blacker, they're more vibrant colors, and there's more contrast there. So everything just pops a whole lot better. The Xbox One S also features a new controller, which for the most part is pretty similar to the original controller. It does have a gripped backing like the Elite controller has, which is very nice. I've also seen a few sites claim that they've been told that it has more accurate thumbsticks, which I never really had a problem with the original ones, but anyway, there you go. But it does have better range than the original controller does, and Major Nelson said that it's been tweaked so that there's even less latency now when gaming wirelessly. It also has built-in Bluetooth, which is sort of interesting because, one, of course, you'll be able to pair it up with a lot of PCs, but it also means that it'll be able to be paired up with tablets and mobile devices. So I think this is interesting in the sense that I think eventually you'll really be able to play anywhere. So you can take your Xbox games, play them on literally any device that you want to, as far as, devices that run Windows. The Xbox One S can also upscale your games to 4K. So yes, it does do more than just 4K video playback. But again, this is upscaling it, unlike the Scorpio, which is said to play back natively 4K games, which I'm going to have another video on just the Scorpio coming up here a little bit later. The S is also going to outperform the original Xbox, which actually is a little bit of a surprise. They didn't even mention this during the briefing. This was talked about after the conference. But according to Rod Ferguson, who's the director of Gears of War 4, the Xbox One S has additional raw GPU and CPU power compared to the Xbox One. And so their team has already taken advantage of this power, and they've been able to reduce the frame rate losses and resolution penalties in more demanding sections of the game. So, I wouldn't go around expecting that, Xbox One S games are going to run games at 60 frames per second and the original Xbox is at 30 frames per second. I don't think it's anything like that sort of power, but apparently there is something there where they can at least make it more consistent in certain areas of the game. So it could be possible that a lot of games that use this dynamic resolution, they could find more power to hopefully hold that resolution at certain numbers. So there's going to be 3 versions of the system, each with different hard drive space. You got the 500 gigabyte, which starts off at $299. Then you've got the top of the line one, which is 2 terabyte, which is $399. So is it worth upgrading? And why did Microsoft announce the S version and then turn around and announce the Scorpio? I mean, did they not just kill their sales of the S version? So let's start with that last question kind of first. If they had announced the S version and then turn around and told you about the Scorpio a few weeks later, then everybody would be bitching about buying an S version. So at least this way, you know the roadmap. They're telling you up front what they're planning on doing. And I think with this way, nobody can feel cheated, right? Microsoft says this allows you to be in control and make the decision that you want to make. So is it worth upgrading? Look, if you don't have a 4K TV, there's really not a whole lot of reasons here to upgrade. I mean, the differences really aren't that great. I think it's a good price point. I think the system looks good, just visually speaking. But I think this appeals more to people who haven't bought an Xbox One yet, or who own a 4K TV and who want to take full advantage of that. So as far as people who just, they have regular 1080 TVs or whatever, they don't have 4K and they already have an Xbox One, I don't think there's that many reasons to pick it up. I mean, if I see a really good trade-in deal, then maybe I'll pick one up, but I'm not in any hurry based on everything that I've seen so far. The added features are nice, and so some people may want, a new controller that's got that Bluetooth functionality in it and everything else like that. But all that's going to be sold separately. So if you want one of those controllers, Microsoft showed off their design labs where you can go design your own custom controller. Those are going to have all those features packaged in with it, the same as the S version. So for those of you maybe looking to get a good deal on the original Xbox, Microsoft just dropped the price of those systems to $279. So I'll leave a link down below to that. But to be honest with you, I'd still wait. I'd say that the price is going to drop a whole lot more, especially by this holiday season. And if you're going to spend $279, you might as well throw down $20 more and get, the newer, better version of the system. So post below, are you interested in the Xbox One S? Stay tuned for the next video. I think on the next one, I'm going to dive into the Scorpio like I did with this one, and we'll compare it to the PlayStation 4 Neo, see how that's going to match up. And eventually, yes, we'll get into the E3 conferences. I'll give you my review like I do every year, talking about Microsoft and Sony and who I thought fared better. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. You want to read about these stories, links down below, and of course, stay tuned to VGN for the latest headlines. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.